is I, Jay Sills, the Lion, and we are back for another episode of the Book of Man Saturday Conversation. It is springtime and it is full effect. So for all my yard warriors, my lawnmower makers, lawnmower hustlers, the craftsmen, the John Deere, the Husqvarna, you're out there with your weed eater, your lawnmower, your blower. I know it's hot. Get out there. Get out there early. First thing in the morning, get it right. I know you're trying to look good. I know you have your in neighborhood yard competitions against the cat across the street. Do your thing, baby. It's all good. I just want to say to everybody out there in that yard, man, come on inside, get some lemonade, holler at us for a little while, and then you can get back out there on it, man. We appreciate y'all. Everybody, y'all need to look nice. Welcome to spring. It's Georgia. You know what time it is. Every weekend, we'll see you out there. What's going on, Doc?
Hey, every weekend. Yeah, as long as it keep raining. My wife cut that grass last week.
Nothing I could do. It rained 3 days. I got to cut it again.
Yep, got to cut it. Self-propel mowers.
Oh, got to have a self-propel. If you got heels and you pushing, God is with you. God is with you.
Back in the day, I used to hit it with the regular.
Yeah, not no more. Yeah,
no.
That if you got anything over a 3 in your age, you ain't messing with that regular. That's a young man's game. Hey, that regular's a young man's game.
Look,
you ain't doing that.
I get it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
get it, man.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You get you put your phone in the pocket, put your headphones on, hit that second handle, self-propel, and keep it rolling.
Yep, that's all to it. And keep it going, man.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? Take your little, I got to take a little Benadryl before I go out there, because you know what time it is. I'll go out there with a little Benadryl or some Allegra or some Claritin pre. I got a pregame now. I can't wait till I get out there. I gotta take it before I go out there. Because if I wait till after, it's over with.
You done.
Done for the day. Come straight in, take the super shower, wash the face, get all out my hair, everything. Gotta wash my hair. Because if not, that poly gonna say, hey, come on, lay on down, fella.
Okay, you patting you on the head. You all right.
You're all right.
You all right, boy.
Hey, what they call it? They call it when the hay fever. I get hay fever so bad.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. Cutting the grass is a commitment for me.
You might as well just hire somebody.
No, up here, man, that's $225 up here.
Ooh.
Yeah, I could buy a whole lawnmower for that, sir.
No.
I buy me a brand new lawnmower for the $225.
That's all right, boy. That is all right. But man, listen, y'all out there that's watching, whether you're watching it now or gonna watch it later, couple housekeeping things. If you want to participate with us now, you can drop some comments down there. Comments come up, I throw them up on the screen. We'll talk about it, especially the one today. Y'all want to be up on this. If you want to come up and talk with us, just say, hey, let me come up. Throw it in the comments. I'll put the link in there. You'll see it. Jump on up. Bam, it's done. Remember, on Saturdays, we usually come and do this. Saturday talk. Thursdays, we try to do the book study. But I'm going to tell y'all what. Life is changing a little bit. Life is changing a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you got to get out there and get it because everything costs more.
Yep.
I had to go out there and start doing some extra work. My wife says she wants some omelets.
There it is.
You know how expensive them eggs is. I had to get another
job. There it is. It's like that right now. Y'all know the inflation. Groceries, what you used to get for $100 is, shoot, that's a waste of time to go to the grocery store for.
No. Yeah, you can't do it. Can't do it. So, but that's it, man. But we'll try to do it on Thursdays. If not, we may shift the schedule a little bit. So we'll see. But we still here. We ain't going nowhere. We're gonna keep on pushing through.
That's it. So anyway, it's Saturday. What we got for them today, Doc? What we talking about?
All right. Today? I don't have a video or nothing for this one, but y'all already know. Everybody has seen the video of the substitute teacher and the girl. And if you haven't seen it, you can probably type in substitute teacher beats on student or whatever, and you'll definitely see it.
Right.
I can describe it for you. I should try to find that video, but I'm gonna describe it for you. So the teacher had took the phones, collected them. subsequent stories say that the girl had asked her friends to record because she was gonna beat the teacher up.
Mm.
And the girl was tripping. Tried to get her phone and take it from the teacher. You know, she bowled up at the teacher like she was gonna do something. The teacher told her to get off me. She was trying to go to the phone to call somebody for help. She pushed the girl back. Next thing you know, the swinging happened. And when the swinging happened, somebody didn't win.
Yes,
that
sir.
Girl got her head mushed into that hard stone floor.
Yes, absolutely. I'm go ahead. That's all you got. I got a few things. Okay, listen. That's a lesson she needs to learn.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot just run up on everybody. You can't.
No.
I think we all have to learn that lesson in life. There's somebody out there better than you. That's the first thing I want. And let's take all the school setting out of it.
Mm.
Be careful who you run up on because you never know who that person is and how they're gonna react to how you run up on them. She thought she would run up on a teacher that's gonna be on some I'm not gonna hit no student stuff, and you saw how that turned out.
I'm gonna tell you, man, the big issue, and if y'all don't know, the people that's watching now, I'm in the system. I've been in the system. I'm halfway done with my career. And the kids have changed.
Oh yeah.
Like since COVID hit, and after that, everything changed. And I'm not gonna say it's the fault of COVID. I'm not gonna say it's the fault of having virtual school. But what I am gonna say is that it's the fault of all of us, especially the parents, because the drastic shift and change just exacerbated what was already there.
Okay. All right. Well, now you taking me to a whole new line of questioning, Doc. I got to ask you some questions about this.
Let's go.
All right. You said post-COVID, there's a note or a market change that you can see in the kids.
Yes.
Do you believe they just have never adjusted back to being into the school?
Look, my boy Calvin.
Yeah.
You say educator here. He know. And yes, the kids are totally different. And he said, yep, the difference in the culture. But you said never adjusted back. Okay.
Have they ever just not? I'm asking. There's gonna be a couple of folds on this question. Yep. First, have they not ever adjusted back to being in the school, or have the parents, after experience COVID and having to be the teacher to a certain extent and deal with their children every day, have the parents totally let their hands off and just like, oh, they yours again?
I'm about to get you. I'm about to shock you. I'm really about to shock you. So this is what has happened from what I've seen personally, what my colleagues say, what other teachers say. And this is when I knew it was bad. If you go on TikTok, Facebook, whatever, the teachers that speak about their experiences, I would have thought they was down the hall from me. How in the world does somebody in California say the same thing happening to them that happened in Georgia? I'm telling you. But the issue is, this is what happens. I think, and like Calvin said, the difference in culture, the culture has shifted. The things that parents tell their kids to do, they actually doing it. They will tell them that. You know, I'll tell you a quick story, and I've told this before.
Give me an example.
Okay, yep, I'm about to tell you.
All right.
These phones. Now that's a second conversation about the addiction to electronics. But I got a kid in our class right now. He on his phone 24/7. And now the way we do it, you know, we supposed to take the phones and do all that. I don't be taking kids' phones. I don't do that. But I think I've gained enough respect. Like, hey man, put that up. I'm gonna act like I don't see it. Just put it up. Because they're supposed to be doing work or learning, and they be on the phone, on TikTok or whatever. And he texting. So we talked to the parent, right? Do you know the parent defended him until it wouldn't stop because she was the one texting him during school.
Right.
And expected him to text her back. I'm saying, Or
I,
they'll say,
I,
"Oh, no,
I've,
you go ahead with that.
I've,
I'm gonna say this next part. Go ahead."
I've heard this argument from parents and from the child's perspective, my own child, as to why she needs to have her phone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and my argument is, I know where you are. Your mother knows where you are.
Mm-hmm.
If it's an emergency, the school will contact us. You don't need your phone in the class. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need it. Yeah, you want to talk to your friends. Yeah, you want to surf on social media or whatever, but you don't really need it in your class. So if your teacher says, give your phone up, you give the phone up. Now,
Mm-hmm.
has my child had any problem with being on her phone in class? No. At least nothing that has escalated to the point of notifying a parent. But I really believe the large bulk of this is on us as parents.
Oh yeah, but you know what? Let me reframe this a little bit because all right, well,
Okay.
one, I don't have a problem with a kid having a phone in school. What I have a problem with is having it out and using it for nefarious purposes or doing not during the right times. And
But
then
how can you?
complaining that you failing, but you supposed to be doing the work in class, but you was on your phone the whole time.
Right.
But here's the big thing. Here's the big thing. And this is where it gets dangerous. Because this happened to me numerous times. Let's say a fight break out, right? No, I'm not even gonna go to the fight yet. I ain't gonna go to the fight yet. I'm gonna go with a disagreement with a teacher.
Okay.
Student and teacher have a disagreement. Student go in the bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
call a parent.
Yep.
The parent calling us before we even get the situation sorted out.
Resolve.
Now I'm gonna go to the fight. I had a fight. These two kids had fought, broke up the fight. Parent call. I'm talking to the parent, and this is 2 or 3 minutes after the fight happened. And they ranting and raving and fussing. I'm like, I don't even know what happened yet. I'm still taking kids to the nurse.
Right.
So they jump in the gun and say they try to beat and talk to the parents first so they can tell their side of the story. But what's the
Right.
bad part? And I say it's the parents because they defend everything to the bitter end, even when they kid dead wrong.
Of course. Of course, because
Mhm.
everybody swear they kid an angel, but meanwhile your angel can't make better grades in the sea.
Oh,
So
even the ones that do make better grades, they still evil. Dang, I
you
said a
know,
kid's evil. I shouldn't say that.
I just feel like
Dave, yeah,
because
Dave, what's up, Dave?
because as a parent, we only get a part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get what your child tells you about the school. And then if you go to the school and talk to the teachers, you get what the teacher tells you about your child and how they interact in their classroom. And even if you talk to all their teachers, you get pretty much the same story. You still lose that part of school, which is when the kids are by themselves. Because your
Mm-hmm.
child ain't telling you and the teacher ain't telling you. So you don't, because when we all been to school before, we know is what goes on in the classroom, what goes on, from the teacher's
Mm-hmm.
perspective, from the child's perspective, and then what goes on in them hallways. All that's
But
different.
but look at this though. We talking about middle school where they supposed to still
Yeah.
be walking in lines and being escorted everywhere.
Well, we know that's not happening. We know that
Oh
ain't happening no
no,
more.
it is happening. That's what I'm saying. It is happening, but this is so many bad behaviors happening. There's so many of them doing bad things at the same time. So you can't control it all. It used to be you would have, for lack of a better term, one bad apple in the class.
Right.
Now after COVID, oh, half of them like that.
So what do you think is the major catalyst? Do you think during COVID kids sat at home and absorbed more and more uh, society and social media and all that kind of stuff and have come back with a different attitude?
I think parents not being parents,
Okay.
and 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 going a little bit deeper, I think that a lot of our parents don't have a foundation. They don't have any type of moral foundation at all.
Mm.
because they base what's right on how they feel at the moment. Remember, I think I talked about this one time about people living in survival mode.
Right.
And now it's getting to the point till everybody has not had any control over anything, and they want to take control over whatever they can.
Right.
And that phone is it. But we got a couple comments, man. Look at this. So Damien said, no one wants to admit they failed as a parent. Yep, they don't. I got kids, you know, going to YDC, walking around the hall with ankle monitors on, all kinds of stuff. And then some of the parents can't do nothing with them.
Right.
I got some kids, the parent told me, I don't know what to do. I done tried everything. Can't do nothing with them.
Okay, I have to go down this road.
Yep.
Do you see a difference in the behavior of the child depending on the type of household they come from?
I knew you was gonna say that. Yeah, I'm gonna say yes. And not to say that kids from two-parent households are a whole lot better, but they're different.
Okay.
All of the people I just told you about, single-parent household, two-parent household, yeah, they do stuff, but it's not to that level. So look at this. Calvin says it's bad on our ends, as kids are sneaking into the 6th grade hallways to use the bathrooms for fighting, but there are 8th graders who ain't supposed to even be on the hallway, and their parents will back the kids even in this. Yes. And look, Calvin also said, yep, I do, but some kids are better in different environments.
So do you think, okay, for the parents, okay, I know you said there's a group of parents who say they don't know what to do with the child.
Mm-hmm.
All right, for the other group of parents who act like they know they can do something with the child, but they seem to be always on the child in defense of the child instead of analyzing the situation, how do you think you get through to those parents, or how do you appeal to those parents to at least help you as an educator to get their child to where they need to be?
All right. I got a good answer for that one. And Damien on here, because he tell me all the time, Doc, you always be middle of the road. You never seem to offend people. Now, this how you got to do it. It's an art form.
Okay.
You have to be able to communicate with people and make it seem like they're right, and you got to make it seem like you can't be an adversary, because they looking for a fight. They're looking for a fight. So you say things like this: I know you didn't raise your child to do all that. I mean, you can't throw the blame dead on them.
Right.
You got to do it in a different way. So that's about the only way you can do it. And you know what? This is the advice I got my first day of teaching back in 2006. He said, you know what, Doc? One of my mentors. He said, you can't save them all. That's
True.
what he said. So you know what I tell these teachers? Give these kids what they're asking for. They don't want to do your work. Give them what they're asking for. That big old 0. They want to fight everybody. Give them what they're asking for. Alternative school. Give them what they're asking for. I'm not fighting with you. And I ain't fighting with parents either. Because guess what? You don't want to do nothing about your child? All right, I'm going to give them exactly what you asking for. They're going to end up being 18 years old in the 8th grade. Okay.
Okay, I'm a parent, right? I'm a parent. My child is good to, behavior-wise is a good child, what you guys would classify as a good child, and is a borderline student, though. Maybe a C, D, B, C, right. Struggling student. How do I know my child is not going to be able to separate themselves academically. Mm-hmm. So they right there in the classroom with the kids that's, doing whatever.
Yep.
What do I need to do to protect my child, or to get my child to a situation where they aren't being pulled down by these other kids? They're not exceptional academically.
Yeah, C is average.
C, they're average student, but they're at least well behaved.
Mm-hmm.
what do I do for that child? Like I know what to do for the child that's excelling is easy. You can get them in the gifted classrooms. You can get them in the preferred programs. It's kind of easy. I know I've done that with my children. But what do I do if I got my child is a good child, doesn't act up, doesn't act the fool, but an average student? How do I get that child opportunity to not be thrown in the mix with these kids? If you're saying as an educator, give the kid what they ask for. Well, my child is asking for some sense for a reasonable situation. How do I help my child?
Oh, yep. The teacher gonna give them what they're asking for. That's it. You know what I told my kids? After years of being in the system, I said, you know, if you just come to school and do your work, it don't even have to be right. You just got to do it. Right. And do the opposite of what everybody else doing, you'll be okay. And let me tell you what I mean by that. So your child come in, they do the work, they get the questions wrong, but they turn it in, they tried it, they did all that. They're not cussing the teacher out, not doing none of that stuff. And guess what that teacher going to do? They're going to take extra time to go to your kid. I'm telling you. Because they don't want to deal with the other ones. Because after they get the other ones put out, well, right there, they're going to get the extra, they're going to get all the opportunity, they're going to get all the rewards, all the treats, they're going to get everything they want.
Okay, so
look, just see.
Average stands out. Damn.
I'm telling you.
So, okay, so you got your kid, you got your classrooms, beginning of the school year. You got how many kids they give y'all now? How many kids they give y'all in the classroom now?
It depends on the size of the school. Okay. You might have, like, I've had as little as 16 kids and as many as 38.
Okay, well, that's an even better question. What do you think is actually a good size classroom?
Smaller the better.
Smaller the better. Okay, so you would prefer a smaller classroom. Mm-hmm. Okay, but let's go to the big number. You said you had a 38 one year.
Yeah.
Out of those 38, how many you think you like, okay, I know I got 38 kids in here. How many you think you're going to probably want to move on someplace else, at least out of your classroom on average? Like, what's the percentage are we talking about? I know I'm going to have an issue if I got this many kids.
Oh, it's hard to say, man, because it honestly, it depends on the kids. It depends on what school you're at. It's different. And okay. I had the pleasure to teach in inner city schools. I've taught in a mixed type neighborhood, and I've taught out in the wealthy neighborhood out on the beach, and now in the K-8 school. It just depends. Okay,
that's an even better question. That leads to another question. How do you like the K through 8 setup? As a parent, not a big fan, but as a teacher, what do you think?
Nope.
No?
Mm-mm. Because there is no, you know how you, like when you go K to 5, 5th grade, you kind of that senior.
Right.
And then when you go to middle school, you start over again.
Right.
You don't have that.
Right.
So what happens is now you got somebody who hit that senior level in 5th grade, and now they senior all the way through. That job ain't no good, but it ain't going nowhere because they, the amount of people that's living in the area is becoming greater, and now they have to condense because of the shortage of teachers, the shortage of bus drivers, all of that. But what I do want to say is this, and I want to get back to this, to the substitute teacher versus the student thing, because I think a lot of people don't really understand what it's like. Remember, I think a few months ago, I told you the story about the boy who was pretending to point a gun at me, like with his hand in his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stuff like that happened. I had one of my homeboys I teach with, and the kid swung on him. Same thing. He had his phone. The boy, we going to dismissal, the boy filming people, on the way to dismissal. He took the boy's phone and, he said, all right, I'm going to give it to you when we get to the bus. He ain't made it no more than 2 minutes. Start wanting to fight the dude. And what these kids don't understand, man strength is different than boy strength.
Very different.
I'm telling you.
Very different.
In the headlock, I'm going to squeeze your head off.
Yeah, it's over with.
Fatality.
It's very different. They don't realize it, and it's a shock to them when they feel it. Because only grown men, half of them, if we have ever wrestled with, is a daddy or uncle or something. We taking it easy
Yeah.
when they feel it, when they first time they feel how it feel to really go tussle up with an actual grown man. It's a different experience.
But I will say this though. And I think over the years, I've learned to start establishing relationships, especially with the kids that nobody want to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
I always go, hey, what's up, man? I make a little joke with them, do all this stuff, and try to build it up early. So when stuff do start going down, I don't have trouble. We just had this huge fight. Parents involved, students involved, all this stuff. Had to call the local police department and campus police had to come and get them.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, it was like that. And the one student was flipping out, would not stop. But I was the only person she recognized in her rage. And she said, "Doc, help me. Tell him this, and this." And why is that? Because of that relationship in the beginning. Sowing those seeds. Hey, Uncle Vaughn said it's a big difference between a man and a boy. Uh-huh.
Let me ask you this, Doc. Who do you think are the more harder to deal with, the girls or the boys? Like who at this point, who's acting out more, or the girls are acting out more? Why do you think that is?
Why do I think that is? Okay, I'm gonna tell you this because all right, for y'all who don't know, I have taught every grade from kindergarten to 8th grade. I hit all of them. Girls are difficult now because they are emulating the things they see on social media. They're emulating the things they see on television and all of those things. So what you get is somebody who think they're strong because that's what society, when people talk about woman or girl, what's the adjective they always use?
Oh, strong black, strong woman.
So the girls, they act like that, but not in a graceful way, not in a way that's respectful to everyone.
Right.
You can't tell them nothing. They are vicious. You know what they like to me? They are like what people think teenage boys supposed to be. Somebody who just got testosterone flowing in their system and they're aggressive. They behave like that. Now the boys, those boys just goofy. They just want to laugh and play all the time. That's all they want to do.
So let's take it back to the incident we're talking about, the teacher and the student. Mm-hmm. Do you think the females feel like they can, or the women or girls, I don't want to make anybody feel no kind of way. Do you think the girls feel, because that's another girl, and they look at themselves as a woman at a very young age, they feel like, oh, that's another woman. She's not going to talk to me like that. She's not going to tell me what to do. I'm a woman too. Do you think that's some of the situation? There's too many women in this, like I'm not going to say too many women in the school, but because the school system is so woman dominated, that they don't see themselves as a difference between them and the teacher.
But this is the problem, though. Too many of these young girls have to be parents at home. It's hard to be the one taking care of kids and cleaning the house and doing all of this stuff, and then you go to school and somebody telling you what to do.
That's a good point. Because at home, mama working 10, 12 hours. She don't get home to 7, 8 o'clock. So you got to manage little brother and little sister all morning long.
Yep. Look, them girls don't understand that they girls, not women. I'd had to break a few of them down just like that. And I mean, I talk to them with respect. Certain things you can't say and certain ways you can't come at kids these days. You got to have some finesse. Because if you come at them, I mean, they'll respect you telling them the truth, but you can't talk down to them.
Do you believe the children today, and I'm going to even say the parents today, don't have a respect for education anymore? Just because I know before it was, you need to get your education. You should value your education. Do
Boy,
you
we
think
about to take a turn.
that respect and value of education? Do you think part of that is lost now?
We about to take a turn. Before I do that, hold on. So Calvin say that's the issue I think we have. We need more black male presence at the schools, not just for the young girls, but for the young men as well. Yep. And he agreed. You have to talk to these young women like they matter. But you can tell them about
Can I
themselves, but you got
can
to
I
do it in a way.
can I answer Calvin's question?
Yep.
That's going to be hard to do because as a man,
Mm.
we look for careers that pay more. And unfortunately, just being a teacher, you got to be at the top of the education field to make the kind of money most guys are going to initially go after. Now, you may realize later in life that money was just fine. But initially, when you're setting yourself up for life moving forward, a teacher's salary is not alluring to a young man.
Oh, I mean, it's true. The thing about education only values years
Edu-
you put in and the amount of degrees that you have.
right,
That's how you make a whole bunch of money. You can technically, if you've been in the game 25 years, you can make just as much as the principal,
right,
but you ain't got none of the stuff.
right.
Oh, we got some friends on here. Miss Hori, hey, Dr. Hicks, that's an important topic. Speak on it. She know. She been in there for a while and retired. Calvin said for me, it wasn't about the money, it was about giving back.
That's a hard sell, Calvin. That's a
Not me.
hard sell. For you, you got to find, it's not a lot of you, Doc.
No, when I say not me, I didn't do that to give back. Nope, not at all. You know why I did it? Because I can be home with my kids. During the summer, I was home. During breaks, I was home. I was there. I mean, now the other kids I help along the way, that what I do in the school has to do with my calling. You know, the purpose that God has given me. That's connected to that. That not this other stuff. But back to your last question though, people think that all teachers supposed to be benevolent. We supposed to be it doesn't make sense when they say, oh, that teacher just there for the check. Yeah, it's a job. We supposed to be there for the check. Who would go pay you? It's a job. Yeah, I'm there for the check. But at the same time, while I'm getting my check, I'm going to try to teach your kid how to function in life. I'm going to teach them how to be patient and how to handle situations. I have to pull them to the side and say, hey, man, look, when you talk to this teacher, you say this how you do it. Watch it work. And then they go do it. Like that young lady there, I'd had to tell her, that's not the way you handle it. Because what's going to happen is when you go up there and try to fight, you're going to be the one getting in trouble and get your phone back right then. And you just going to put it in your pocket. Let her have it. It ain't that important. But let's look at this. All right. Oh, Calvin McMichael, man, look at this, my brother. Calvin, what changed in the way we used to teach young women and how we teach them now, even though the parents still work and put responsibilities on the kids to take care of the siblings? Yep. That's it. They do. Calvin say he totally agree. And Jamie say it's a J-O-B, Craig. It's a J-O-B. But you know what I learned?
That's interesting, though. With the question that was raised is very interesting. Teenage girls have long been expected to look out for their younger brothers and sisters. What's so different now?
Oh, well, I'm going to tell you what. Y'all think it's just girls, but it's not. I got a young man right now. I found out he got to watch. He told me, all right, Doc, I was up late last night. I had to give my little brother medicine. And I said, why you got to get up and give him medicine all through the night? Because you know when baby catch fever or something, give them the Tylenol every hour. So the young man said, yeah, my mama worked from 10 to 10. 10 at night, 10 in the morning. But the boyfriend living with him. And the boyfriend got to get up and go to work at 6. And I'm like, what? Ain't you got to get up and go to school? But he doing that. And then I told him, I said, man, he act out every couple of weeks he'll start acting out in class like he don't want to be there. And I said, you know what? I know you smart. Because I saw you the first day of school. But sometimes you come here and don't feel like dealing with school because of what's happening at home. And he looked at me and put his head down. And I asked him straight up, man, am I right or wrong? And he said, yeah, you're right. So it's all right. Here's the issue. And I'm still going to throw it back on the parents because everybody is out for themselves. They want to get them. I got to. Oh, goodness. I can't say that. I can't say that because people who know me might connect the dots. So I am not going to say that. But everybody out for themselves.
Right.
And remember I talked about that theory about the adultification of children?
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is true. I don't think it's a theory. I think it's happening. I think it's, the scientific method is being proven. Your hypothesis is correct, sir. But go ahead.
Adultification of children. Pretty much the children are disappearing. There are no more children. We treat them like small adults. And I think that's the issue. So they can stay home. They can take care of this. And you know what they doing? They getting them Southwest flights to Vegas for $59. And they going to Vegas for the weekend while the kids at the house. Or they doing a whole bunch of dumb stuff like that, looking out for just them and posting it all on social media so everybody can see them. But the kids sitting at the house trying to figure out life for themselves. And so you know what told me that? When we first got back from COVID, them parents was hot. Everybody wanted kids back in school. And you know why? Because that's their free babysitter.
Yep. So do you think parents have not accepted the role of being a parent? Do you think a lot of these parents only halfway want to do the job of what is required as a parent?
I think that is. I'm gonna go back to survival mode.
I have a different opinion.
Survival mode.
I have a different opinion, but go ahead.
Well, but let me get to what I'm saying. Now, when you're in survival mode, you're doing what you can do to survive, doing all that stuff, right? And when I talked about control, because that's what survival mode is a form of securing your own control.
Mm-hmm.
So I think these people don't have control of anything, and they're trying to take it where they can get it. And how can they take it? By going to do what they want to do. Well, I'm gonna go to the Mexican restaurant and drink me some margaritas. The kids will be all right. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go to Miami for the weekend girls trip. They'll be all right. Because that's what you got control over. But what people have to realize is that you got to pull yourself out of that. So you got to stop living in survival mode. The longer you live in it, the worse it is for you. Your body is not built for that kind of stress.
I agree with that premise. However, I think because of the society as we currently live in it, people are more concerned with looking like they do something than actually doing it. They want to look like a good parent. They're not really doing to do the things to be a good parent. They want to look like a good husband, but don't actually want to do the things to be a good husband. They want to look like.
Okay, you got to pay the cost to be the boss.
Right. A lot of people, we all want to look like it though.
I ain't did this in a while. I got to do this one time. There you go. I'll give you one.
And I think that's the main thing is everybody wants this image, but nobody wants to put in any of the work to actually have it. And I think that's our biggest issue. It's even dwindled down to the children. A lot of kids will be upset when they get bad grades, but then they don't want to do their work during the semester.
You know what they say? I'm all right with that. I'm okay with that. So you want this 70? You can take this 70 on this test that's worth 30% of your grade, or I can let you redo it where you can make 100. Nah, I'm good. I take the 70. It's a facade wrapped in a lie to be called the truth.
So there's a program that I watched. I think it's on Amazon Prime, if I'm not mistaken, called The Feed.
Okay.
And there's a certain group of people in this program that are so trapped into the feed, which is basically like social media and all of that kind of stuff. They're so trapped into the feed. It's literally a program built into your head where you could be basically online all the time, basically on social media all the time. That's what this feed is. It's a group of the children that have been brought up since the feed.
Mm.
They can't read,
Nope.
can't write. They don't have any. They have no functionality, but they live their life in quote unquote the feed
Mm.
and just sit around. It'll be a group of them sitting around together, but everybody be locked into the feed. Just
Oh
like we'll
yeah.
sit around together, everybody be on their phone, and that's all they can do. They can't do anything else. Are you starting to see that in our children right now?
Yeah, they lot. Not exactly. Um, I think now this is, you know what? Before I answer that question, I'm gonna put this comment up there, and then we're gonna kind of go into my answer. Now,
Okay.
Calvin McMichael said, I think we're trying to use the strategies of our parents in that time period, but not adjusting to how society has changed, but how to keep the values that we were raised with and still relate to the children today. That's a good question.
Mm.
We'll go back to that. So, what's happening? Nope, before I do that, I got to hit this one too. Miss Ori said, no, my computer's slowing a little bit. I think that the values are a lot different these days. Social media and cultural norms have a huge impact today. When we were coming up, family and education were valued. Ooh, I want to touch on that. Okay. So what I'm saying is this. I think what I notice is kids, they interact through that stuff. I've had kids, now I catch them all the time. How in the world you set up a Zoom with kids in other classes and y'all have the Zoom on? So they are interacting.
Oh yeah.
But they doing it through that and the physical part. And to what Calvin said, what I want to touch on is that education need to change.
Absolutely.
It need to change
Is
drastically with the advent of artificial intelligence and social media and all this stuff. It gotta change, but we are too slow.
Yeah. Well, there's no reason that a classroom should look the same way in 2023 that looked in 1923. That's a
Yeah.
problem. That's a problem.
Uh-huh.
And Prince EA, I think, made a whole thing about it, saying how come everything around he did like a washing machine from the early
Mm,
1900s and how the one looks today. He did a car from 1900s to how a car
yeah.
looks today. Then he put a classroom up there and said it had teachers all the desk on the line, a teacher in front of at the
Mm.
board pointing to the words, and then the classroom from today. The desk is all in the line, and the teacher at the front pointing to the board. It can't. That doesn't work. Buildings don't look the same. Homes don't look the same. Nothing's the same except the classroom. There's a problem.
Well, but there's a huge but. Everybody has to play a role in that.
Correct.
Like, and I tell you, and everybody who don't know, I'm gonna tell you, my son hadn't went back to regular school since we was out for virtual. He had not went back at all. And it took us about 2 years to get him to this point. Like, he does virtual school. If he's making A in the class, he don't have to go. Like, he don't have to meet up with them or nothing. He just do the assignment. And that's it. But he has to be self-motivated and driven in order to get his stuff done. Planning out his time, doing all this stuff. But what's missing is the kids that we have today. You know what they motivated by? I'm gonna tell you. Them jokers motivated by Takis, hot chips, and Gatorades.
They love
That's
some
it.
talkies. They love
That
talkies
is
now.
it. I'm telling you. So it's like the motivation is nothing. And I'm gonna touch on this point, and I think we need to have this conversation again. One of the first shows we did, goodness, what is 2 years ago? A
Almost,
year and a
yeah.
half ago. We was talking about education versus college, college versus getting a job,
Right.
right? I think that okay, I'm just gonna say it. I think society itself has misconstrued what education is supposed to be, and they equate education with money. I'm supposed to make this money because I have the education. And if they don't make that certain amount of money, then they say the education is no good. So we got more and more people believing that. But here's the thing. Now, is there a student loan crisis and they overcharging? Yeah. But education is not useless, because what does it teach us how to do? Think critically. Teach us how to solve problems. We need to know about a lot of stuff. But guess what our kids today can't do? None of that.
Nope.
None of that. So education is important. But the parents, and this back to the comment that Miss Ori put up about the values are different. Yeah, the values are different because people don't value education, because guess what? Society has told them it's not important. They just doing it because they have to do it. Yeah. They don't want to be counted as truant. And the parents don't want the social worker at the house. I'm telling you, what's going to happen is, before when the Industrial Revolution started, right? You know who they had in those factories?
Children.
It's going back. Look at this. We sell about $200 worth a day in our snack shack. Hot chips and Takis. That's all they get. If you see a kid doing this, you already know they got the little Taki dust on their fingers, and already know they gonna have. I'm telling you, go ahead. If y'all invest in money, go ahead and invest in assets. Just buy the stock now, because in the next 20 years,
all the kids gonna be on them.
I'm telling you, all the kids older like us and have to do it.
They're gonna be in their 20s.
Another story. I'm gonna tell
they're gonna be in their 20s on the assets.
Just go ahead and put you about. Go ahead and get you a stash account. Buy you some Alka-Seltzer stock. I'm telling you. But
find out what the active ingredient is in the asset in the antacid, and go ahead and purchase that, because it's probably in all of them. It's probably the same active ingredient in all of them.
So let me ask you this question: substitute teacher versus a student. What would you have done if that girl had swung on you?
Okay, I'm gonna defend the teacher first. Mm-hmm. I don't think she was wrong. If a person attacks you, because you look at the size of that girl, they're about the same size, height-wise.
They come like that.
Right, height-wise, they're about the same size. Mm-hmm. And that was a full-on swing. It was a horrible swing. It was clearly a swing by someone who doesn't know how to fight, but it was a big, wide haymaker type swing, and she caught it. And I do believe in that situation that woman has a right to defend herself. Now, do I think that same little girl would have swung on me? Probably not. I'm a much bigger man than that little girl is. She probably would have thought about it twice. But that teacher in that situation, I don't think she was wrong. I think she has a right to stand her ground and defend herself. It looked like once she got the little girl on the ground, she was trying to just control her, and she was telling her, "Hey, go get somebody. Go find some help." Which is, basically is the approach I would want a teacher or a parent or an adult to take, which is control the individual, restrain them, and then get help where the child can be, we can break up and split it up, and people can go in separate directions. Me personally, I'm not an educator or a teacher, because I love my kids, and that's the list. After that, I don't know about your kids. I don't know if I can love your kids like that, to have the restraint to, I bust it. Like what Bernie Mac said, I bust your head to the white meat.
All the way.
You're not gonna run up on me crazy. I don't care if you're a kid or not. So I'm not in the education system because of that. I'm not in the education system because I know one student. To me, it's a high risk for a man.
Mm-hmm. You got some stories on that.
Right. It's high risk. That's a high risk, low reward situation. Now, if you tell me, I can go make 6 figures being an educator, I might say, okay, maybe that's worth the risk. But
unfortunately, you got to know how to navigate the system, and you don't learn that for a while.
Right.
There's certain things you do. So like I'm gonna put up what Miss Horry said, and then I'm gonna tell you what I would have done. So she said she a sub now, which happy retirement. You can come and teach when you feel like it. So love that. First of all, wouldn't have taken the phone. I would have asked her to put it away, and if she refused, I'd have called the office and let them handle it. Yep. What I would have done? Yeah, I probably wouldn't have did that. I don't mess with them kids' phone like that because them Joe could be ready to fight, and I ain't trying to fight nobody. Also, if I was there and a kid would swing on me, I tell them now. I tell them right now. Somebody came up to me, hey Doc, what you do if I try to fight you? I said, I'm gonna let you hit me, and then I'm gonna fall out and say I broke something, and then you ain't gonna see me for about 2 months, and I'm gonna still get paid. I mean, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fall out. I'm gonna roll with the punch too, so it ain't much gonna hurt. I'm just gonna roll with it, and I'm gonna fall down. I might even pretend to have a seizure or something. And I'm gonna be at the house.
Sit home for a couple months on.
There you go. Calvin say you're right. I'm more into the coaching side of it, but love teaching. All right. And Ms. Ori say good answer. But the thing is, you have to know, you always have to protect yourself. As a teacher, you got to protect yourself first. And those teachers who say that I'm here for the kids and I'm doing this or that, you're gonna be the one to get caught up. I'm telling you, you got to protect yourself. Everybody out to get you, all of them, and you got to treat them like that. So if you're in a classroom with them, and if you're alone with a girl, you better have another student in there with you. Always had that door wide open. Never get seen arguing with a kid. And you know what? I'm gonna go to that. This is what the ethics lawyers are going to say, because every year we have lawyers come talk to us about ethics and how not to get caught up. This video gonna be on everybody ethics thing next year. I'm just saying. And you know what they're gonna say? Don't have the power struggle. The sub engaged in a power struggle from the beginning. Her ego got involved, but she wasn't gonna let that little girl win. That's what happened. That is what happened. The situation was escalated. Now, do I agree with her? Yep. Because I think people need to see it, how these kids act. So they need to mush their head into the concrete. They won't mess with nobody no more. But good thing that district has like some kind of law in the books or some written policy that says that the teachers can defend themselves if a student try to attack them.
That's good.
She'll be all right.
That's good. I'm glad they have that. I think all school systems need to have that. A teacher should be allowed to defend themselves, especially when you get to the middle school and high school. Definitely in high school, them kids is as big as the teachers, or bigger. So I definitely high school and middle school too. There's some big middle schoolers out there.
Hopefully they had an edited version.
But I would say this from the outside looking in as a parent and as just an individual. I think teaching at this point is one of the hardest careers you can get into. Because even in the charter schools and the quote unquote nicer schools, things are still rough.
They have different problems.
Yeah, different problems. And I have the utmost respect for all the teachers. But it's definitely a difficult situation.
Calvin said, how to teach the kids self-control, because when they get in the real world and in the jobs and careers, they act the same way at the workplace.
Yep. Yes, they do. I see it all the time in the warehouses. These kids coming out 18, 19, 20 years old have zero self-control. Zero.
And that's the thing. Impulsive.
Yeah.
You know what I think it come from? Talkies. I ain't joking. I'm serious. All right. You know what? All right. I'm going to say this. This is kind of off the subject, but on the subject. In our community, what we do, we feed our kids bad food.
We do.
We give them a bunch of sugar, stuff with red dye in it, a bunch of carbohydrates. They're addicted to all that stuff. kind of like when they had the happy crack stuff going around the schools with just plain sugar and Kool-Aid in it.
Yeah.
But that, that speeds up everything. Impulse control goes away. They're addicted to that. And what shows that? Just now, when they had that when they looted the Walmart in Chicago, which we probably could talk about that too, but Walmart closing all 5 of them Chicago stores in that city because they having problems with people and they're stealing. Like they're making videos say I'm eating free at Walmart, and then they just eating the food. So they just raided the whole store. People came in, they took everything. But guess what was not touched? The fruit and vegetables. The display looked the same as it was when the store opened. It was empty shelves and stuff on the floor, but all the fruits and vegetables were not touched. I'm telling you, we changing the hormonal makeup of our children by letting them eat all this junk. And that's what I think happening. I think the hormones changing. I'm telling you, hormones changing. And that's it. Look, and we allow them to eat as much as they want. About a whole man, it's parents that stop their kids to the store every day and buy them Mountain Dew and Takis.
And send them right in the classroom.
And you cannot tell them not to eat in class because they're gonna be sitting there eating anyway. And there's so many of them till you can't stop it. That's the thing. Classroom management, yeah, you can have that. But you know that saying that they can't arrest all of us. That's what happens. You got to pick your battles. Which one I'm gonna fight today? And if you feel like dealing with it.
And that's a lot, Doc, man. As a parent, as an individual outside of the education system, that's a lot.
My wife buy chips like they green beans. But you're right, man. You're right.
That's a lot to deal with, and to have to deal with it on a regular basis. And the fact that his children, there's a certain, I guess the word I'm looking for, maybe sensibility you have to have to deal with children, and how when you have certain children who that there's always these children around that are cut above, and they're mixed in with these children who may not have the best of intentions as far as it comes to education. How do you go about the process of identifying and helping those kids to achieve what they're capable of?
All right, good question.
As an educator.
But the thing what happens is kids segregate themselves.
Okay.
They segregate themselves. From what I've seen, the kids who are doing the right thing and doing their stuff, honestly, bullying like that don't happen too much. At least from my observation and where I am, they don't really mess with them like that. So you encourage them. Hey, you stay over there yourself, mind your business. You do your stuff. When programs come up, you suggest that for them. You communicate with the parents. Like now, I got kids. 8th grade. I'm like, what you want to do after school? What about college? What you thinking about college? Or you want to do a job? What kind of job you thinking? Start getting them thinking about it.
Right.
Thinking about what high school they want to go to. Start working with them more. So I would say to all that, man, as a parent, I would communicate with the teacher and just find out what's what and just put them on their radar. But also, I'm going to say this. It's our responsibility to teach our own kids.
That's a good point.
That's what it is. Teach your own kids. And I'm not talking about, having full-on class with them all the time. But they go there and get the information. You teach them how to use it. Then it won't even matter.
Well, let's talk about that. As a teacher, you're dealing with these kids every day, and I know a lot of parents don't spend much to any real dedicated time to their children. How much time would you like parents to spend undivided attention with their kids? How much time do you think a child needs on a daily basis? Or weekly or whatever?
I can't put a number on it, but what I do tell parents is talk to your kids. And when I mean talk to them, like just talk to them. You know how I got my kids ahead? And I recognize this. Inferencing. From when they was in car seats in the back of the car. What inferencing is really trying to guess what's going to happen next.
Right.
So we riding by in the car and they see somebody with the hood up. Hey, what you think is wrong with that car? Then they'll say, oh yeah, they this and that. Okay, we watch a movie. Why do you think the character did this? Then they give me an answer. Kids can't do that today. So now you're teaching them how to think. Teach them how to think, how to use that stuff. Now, in terms of time, man, like I said, much as you can give and just talk to your kids. Like, and it don't even have to be about school stuff or serious stuff. Ask them what they think about things. That goes a whole lot further than sitting there like, all right, we're going to read this here. We're going to do this paper. I mean, then it's going to build up to the point where you can talk about more serious stuff. Like, you know, my son, when we were doing the book study, I said, yeah, we were thinking about reading The Art of War. He was like, yeah, I read that. You know, we can talk about the books that we read in the book study.
Right.
Because I've been talking to him a long time. So again, to the parents, man, just take some time and talk to your kids. Whatever time you got, you need some time for yourself, but you ain't got to, you know, do all of that.
So, what advice would you give to a parent, child getting ready to go to middle school? What advice would you give to that parent about what they need to talk to their kid about, either before they go off to middle school, regularly, like what kind of conversation they should be having on a regular basis with their child, so they can kind of get a good idea of what's going on in the classroom and around, and then also what questions should they be asking the teacher? Now, I know we're running a little long.
Oh, boy.
I know, and I know that's kind of some deep stuff I just dropped on you, so we can pick it up next week. Or you want to go ahead and try to answer that? That's a lot of stuff.
I'm gonna say a little bit, and then we can kind of we can come up with the new related topic. But to kids and parents, I would tell them to watch who they're hanging around.
Okay.
And don't try to fit in. Because fitting, you know what fitting in is to these kids? Wearing ski masks in the summer. Oh yeah, they got the whole face thing on, you know, doing that.
Yeah, they got the poo. They call it the poo shiesty mask.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
You know, doing that stuff, following up with them kids. Focus on getting your job done and find you some like-minded kids. Kids that think like you. Don't try to be somebody else. That's the biggest thing I can say. Just try to focus on them doing that. And, you know, from there, everything else will take care of itself. But no lie, I apologize to my kids for sending them to middle school. I'm like, I'm sorry, y'all. My bad. I didn't know.
They say it's the roughest time. They say middle school, the roughest run for the kids, man. And that's why I feel like separating them from the elementary kids is so good. I don't think those elementary school kids need to see what's going on and hear about what's going on at the middle school.
Yeah. It's a separation. One be on the second floor and one be on the first floor, but still.
Yeah, that's not enough. That's not enough. Because they still riding the bus together. They still riding the bus together. They still in the hallways at certain times, coming in the morning. They still coming in the morning together. All that kind of stuff. And if it's in the school, you hear the whole school hear about it if it happened in the school. There ain't no way around that. You know it, and I know that. So that's why I feel like the middle school needs to be separated. It needs to be because physically those are clear distinctions. Elementary, you're a kid. Middle school, you're going through puberty.
Yeah.
And high school, you're becoming an adult.
That's right.
And I think those are clear distinctions in the human body, and it should be clear distinctions in the education. But at the same time, my son goes through a K through 8 because I thought that was the best school for him and gave him the most opportunity.
Right. Okay. So before we wrap it up, y'all, listen. Atomic Habits is the book we are reading. You need to read this book. Get the audio book, do something with it. It's not a riveting story. He got some stories in there, but it's going to show you how to build habits to help you achieve all of your goals. Man, this book is life-changing. I'm telling you. Listen to what I'm telling you. Atomic Habits. It's like $4 or $5 on Google. Get you an electronic copy or whatever. Or if you really want it, holler at me. I'll figure out something. But on Thursday, we're studying that. And we've already broken down like how your body works and why you do a lot of the things you do. And next, we're going to talk about how to build those good habits to achieve the things you want to achieve. Want to lose weight? We can help you do that. You want to get rich? We can help you do that too with these habits. Oh, who's the author? Atomic Habits by James Clear. James Clear. The book is a white covered book. Actually, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. And then we can go. Oh, there we go. Atomic Habits. And I have the book study every Thursday. Oh, I had to get to the cover. Not bad, y'all. Hold on. All right, here we go. I'm gonna present and I'm gonna share my screen there, and then we're gonna do play books. All right, this is it. So you see it right there. Atomic Habits is this one in the top corner. Blow it up a little bit, and you see I got Jordan Peterson and it's a whole bunch of other books there. But this one, Atomic Habits, Tiny Changes, Yield Remarkable Results. This is the one. Y'all, get it. Get it. I'll put some links up somewhere. I'll share them. I found them on Apple, on Google, on Kindle, the bookstore, all of that. Go on and get it. Thursday, we'll be back. Chapter 4.
Yep. We'll be back Thursday. Habits.
So, with that one, man, you ready?
Yes, sir. Hey, man, we appreciate everybody that joined us today. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. We had a really, really good topic. I think, we got an opportunity to explore the side of education that we don't get to hear enough about from our teachers and faculty members. It's rough out there, parents. We know you're going through a lot, man, but you just try to stay in there and get information from wherever you can get it and push these kids to be better. Thank you for being with us, man. Doc, would you want to close anything out, sir?
Oh, man, again, come to the book study. I'll put some links out on my personal Facebook page. I'll put them out there again. I'm going to start putting back some more posts so we can drum up some interest. The more people there, the better time we have and the more we learn. Y'all missed the 48 Laws of Power. Go to our YouTube channel. We went through every single chapter.
Yes, sir.
And we had the Way of the Superior Man. So do it.
It's out there. Way of the Superior Man, 40 Laws of Power. Way of the Superior Man to change your life, fellas.
For sure.
All right, man. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all joining us. We out.
Peace.